Alright, for the fire lab, we're going to go ahead and run through and let you look at the actual results. So part one is really just pretty easy. You're just actually looking at and you're drawing a picture of the flame. You're both drawing an unlit candle and then the lit candle. Please do make sure that you show the parts of the fire triangle and label that as well as the parts of the candle. If you don't know what the fire triangle is, search on Google for fire triangle and take a look and learn what it is. Then put down those parts. Okay, for part two, what you did is you went ahead and put your candle into the water. You'll notice it is still burning. Let's just do it like this. Okay. It is still on fire, and then we take our Erlenmeyer flask and set it directly over the top. You can look very closely. The candle is actually still burning right now. You can see just barely it is still burning. There were some bubbles that were coming out of there earlier. You should understand why those bubbles are coming out. Then you should see something is happening to the candle and to the water level as the candle is getting smaller and smaller. The flame is getting smaller and smaller. The flame is still burning just a small amount. The top of this is getting a little bit warm. And you can see that the candle itself has now gone out, but it's actually, the water level is raised from down at the bottom where it used to be now all the way up here. You should be able to explain why that's happening when you think about atmospheric pressure and what's going on inside of the container. Also make sure you think about the fire triangle and what is being used up while that chemical reaction is happening. Okay, so that's it for part two. For part three, you're timing how long it takes for the candle to do something after you set the different size beakers on. So we're starting with the 250 milliliter beaker. And let me get this burning correctly. Okay, so we're starting with the 250 milliliter beaker. We're just going to set that over the top. Go ahead and time this at home. Let's try that again. Go ahead and start your watch at home and time this. Go. And done. Stop. You'll notice it did go out, as hopefully you were expecting. We'll go ahead and relight it, and we'll time this one. Start your watch again at home. Ready, go. This is the 600 milliliter beaker. When you graph these, remember, you're graphing the 250 milliliter beaker at how much it would completely hold, which would be 350 milliliters. You're graphing the 600 milliliter beaker at how much it would hold at 700 milliliters. It's still burning right now, and get ready, stop. Okay? What you need to do now is go ahead and predict what you think the 1,000 milliliter beaker, how long it would take for it to go out. Go ahead and predict that and put that on your sheet. And you could have gotten extra credit if you did it well in class, but obviously you're not doing this in class. That was it for Lab 3. Alright, for Lab 4, what you went ahead and did is you lighted your candle. Then we were looking at some of the products of this combustion reaction. So if I hold this clean beaker upside down, you can see some stuff that's forming right here already at the top of the beaker. And if I take my hand in there and very carefully rub it, I can feel that it is actually wet. What I've been forming right there is actually water vapor is one of the products, and it was condensing on the cool beaker and becoming water liquid. The other thing that I wanted to do is turn the beaker upside down and just rub it against the top of the flame. And you can see that it leaves some carbon. So when it's burning incompletely, you can see the ash that is basically carbon that forms there. We can wipe that off as well, though do be careful because it will get hot. And you can wipe that carbon off of there. It is also, along with making water vapor when it's burning, it's also making carbon dioxide, which is an invisible gas, and if it's not burning completely, then you can see actually the carbon that's forming. Alright, in lab, alright, for lab 6, we light the candle at the bottom of the beaker, and you're going to do a chemical reaction, and you're going to do that reaction in one of the large containers. So what you'll take is sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda. You'll drop that into the bottom of the large beaker. You'll go ahead and add some vinegar. You will see a reaction. We have evidence of reaction because a gas is forming. That gas, it turns out, is more dense than the air, so actually a lot of it will stay in this container. And I can take, and notice I will not pour any of the liquid, I'll just pour the gas and immediately put out the flame. Okay? The gas is actually carbon dioxide. You can notice I probably cannot even relight the flame because the beaker is still full of carbon dioxide. I can't light what's in here either because there's no oxygen. If I blow out the oxygen and the carbon dioxide that was in there, I can relight the flame. And there probably is still carbon dioxide in here, so I can pour that in and put it out once more. Again, in order for a fire to happen, you need all three parts of the fire triangle: a fuel, heat, and oxygen. If we remove the oxygen by just putting carbon dioxide in there, fire doesn't stand a chance, it goes out immediately. Go ahead and make sure you answer all the rest of the questions. Write questions in the margin if you still have questions for your teacher. Thank you.